Hi, this is Ron Janish, and this video is going to give you a bunch of new details about the new Andrews Pitchfork indicator. First of all, let me show you the relevance of it and why I like to know what the indicator is telling me. This is a real-time chart. This is the way it is right now of the S&P. The last time we sent out any information on the indicator is actually when we updated it on the website, and that was over here. Okay, so at the time the price was 2062. Okay, let's see what the price is today. Where did that go? That went over here. Price is over 50, 60 points higher. So that's pretty good. And the reason I'm showing you this is because that's the last time we felt that it was significant to give you that information. And what we did was we sent out some emails and let everybody know and all that other good stuff. So what we do is every once in a while we'll send out some info. This was when the market was over here. Okay, yeah, that's it, right over here. And every once in a while, we'll send out some information on the new Andrews Pitchfork indicator. Okay, so before I show you the computerized studies and our analysis of the computerized studies, not just the numbers, let's take a look. Okay, first of all, if you look at the chart here where it says andrewspitchfork.com, what we have is we have these ones and twos and all that kind of stuff. And we only update this chart every once in a while when we think it's actually meaningful from our point of view and from our studies we've done. And that's why we put it over here, and just see what happens. And just like when these numbers were here, there was 3 ones over here. We posted something on CNN report saying, hey, market's going down for the month of January. And it did. Looking back now with perfect 2020 hindsight, we can see that that forecast was correct. And we know that since we posted on CNN report, they don't let us change that stuff afterwards. So that's they're pretty much cast in stone. Anyway, notice when we get a 4, it gets really interesting. See, there's the 4s, and sometimes when there's a 3, it gets really interesting. Here's a 3, and here's a 3 that kind of fizzled, and here's a 4, and here's a couple of 1 and a 2. And so what we found over the years was that, well, actually for the last year, we've only been playing with this for the last year, is that when you get a large number or 2 numbers in a row, that's when it's noteworthy. So what we did was we did a study and said, well, what happens if what really gives us the best trades and the best combinations? And we did this study with the new Andrews Pitchfork indicator, and we checked it out in the Qs, in the SPY, and in the Dow, which is the DIA. And so we did that, and we did it for long only and short only. Now let me show you what I mean by that. So a 3 down here would be a long only. A 3 up here would be a short only. Okay, because remember, numbers below are bullish and numbers above are bearish. Okay, so this is what we found. We found that if we get, I'll show you how this works. Okay, what we're looking, this is 4 things we want to know from the computer. What was the best? And we're usually looking at stuff that worked 60 to 90% of the time. And we asked, well, how many days do you stay in for these really good runs? And the answer was, for example, if if the number from yesterday, this is for the short side, if the number from yesterday was a 0 or more, and the number today is a 0 or more, but combined they came up to 4 or higher, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 3 plus 1 equals 4, right? Then what we have is we have a really good shot for the next 4 days being reasonably profitable. So 4 plus 0 equals 4, 0 plus 4. So if today was a 4 or yesterday was a 4, then that would also qualify. Okay, now, sometimes the computer came up with some really weird numbers, but nevertheless it works. It says for 3 days, the next 3 days are really kind of neat. If yesterday was a 3 and the combined numbers are 2 or higher, well, obviously if yesterday was a 3, then today's numbers would be 3 or higher. So so that's a meaningful one. So that's so much for that. So the only really interesting ones here to look at is this one here, probably, and this one here. Okay. Now looking at the short side of SPY, good for 3 days, or sometimes more, much more. If yesterday and today combined were a 2, okay, and yesterday was at least a 1. And it also said if today is a 0 or better, well, actually, no, if combined is a 0 or better, well, actually, if today is a 4 or higher, then the next 4 days would be good for the downside. That's all that one says. Okay, now looking at the Qs, for example, it said if today is a 3, look for the next 4 days to be good for the downside. If today and yesterday combine, if yesterday was a 3, now this seems kind of strange, yesterday being a 3 and stuff. What that means is that if yesterday was a 3 or higher, and today prices didn't go up past what I call the fire exit point, which is a specific value, then hey, that's fine. It's still short we go for 3 days. Okay, so if today, for example, the number is 1 or higher, might be 2 or 3, whatever, or 4, and the combination is 4 or higher, then it's good for 4 days. Okay, now on the long side, we look a little differently. So if the last 2 days, the total is 2, so 1 and 1 would be 2, right? Or 2 if today was a 2, or if yesterday was a 0, stuff like that. And if today is a 1, then you've got a pretty good shot at the next 3 days for the long side of going to the upside for 3 days. Okay. That's for the DIA. For SPY, if today and yesterday combined is a 3, then it's good for 6 days. If combined it's a 2, it's good for 3 days. Okay. And moving down to the Qs, okay, if yesterday and combined is a 2 or higher, and yesterday was a 1, then it's up we go time for 6 days. And if the day before yesterday, if yesterday was a 2, and today's 0, 0, okay, then it's up we go time for 6 days. Now, what this would mean is that today prices didn't break the fire exit barrier. So for example, if yesterday was a high 2 saying down we go, but today it charged up and went past the fire exit, then that wouldn't count. Okay. So, and the fire exit's always a specific thing that you can easily calculate. So that's the ins and outs. Now that seems a little crazy, but let's take a look at this. Let's see how that could be applied. So for the Q's, if this was a 2, okay, let's find 2's. Okay, let's find some 2's. Where we go? 2. Okay, so we're looking for a long 2. Well, here's a 3. Okay. And here's a long 2. And so here's a long 2 that fizzled out. Now here's a long 2, and it says for the next several days in the Q's it would be good. So what we need to do is we need to find out what this day is in the Q's, and that would be specifically investing in the Q's, or on this day here, getting in the Q's was a good idea for several days. Okay. Okay, so that's the ins and outs of the new Andrews Pitchfork indicator. Generally, what we do with this is when we have a signal that we think is useful or meaningful, what we do is we communicate that to the advanced course members. Now, some of you would like to know the ins and outs of the new Andrews Pitchfork indicator. No problem. There's 2 ways to do that. One way is to take the expanded, after you get the advanced course, you take the expanded course. And what happens is if you take the expanded course within 30 days of taking the advanced course, we have an offer right now where we will discount whatever you paid for the advanced course. Okay, so we'll just take that off, whatever the price of the expanded course is, which by the way goes up with each person who takes it. And we have a maximum of 100 that we offer, and it's huge, the expanded course. And so we do that. And once a year, we have a seminar that's available to expanded course members for an additional fee. And you can learn all the ins and outs of the Pitchfork indicator. And we show you the history, and we show you the numbers underneath this. There's other numbers that are connected with this spreadsheet you see in front of you. And that's the historical studies and those kind of thing. So you get some more detail because we have this all computerized. And so there's that. And then when we have 100 people that have taken the expanded course, we're maxed out. At that point, everybody gets it for free, or they get their money back on whatever they paid us for the whatever they paid us for the Pitchfork seminar. Why are we doing it that way? Well, it's real simple. We want to motivate people to get their friends to take the expanded course. It's that simple. Once we reach our 100 goal, that's it. We're maxed out. We don't need to do it anymore. Okay? So that's what we're doing. And thank you for your time. Hope that gives you the insight you need for the expanded course. Bye. Oh, where do you take the advanced course? Oh, real simple. Just click on there, and you've got in there. Okay, now let's turn this off and publish it.